1998. Sarah Mitchell is 22 years old. She has a boyfriend named Jake. Jake is bad news, but Sarah doesn't see it. She's young. She's naive. She thinks Jake loves her. One day, Jake comes to her with a plan. "I need you to help me with something," he says. "What?" Sarah asks. "Just drive," Jake says. "That's all. You wait in the car. You don't have to do anything else." Sarah should say no, but she doesn't. She trusts Jake. June 15th, 1998. Sarah drives Jake and two other men to a bank in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. She parks outside. "Just wait here," Jake says. "We'll be right back." Sarah sits in the car. She's nervous. She knows this is wrong, but she tells herself she's not really doing anything. She's just waiting. Then she hears it. Gunshots. Screaming. People running out of the bank. Jake and the other two men come running. "Drive! Drive now!" they yell. Sarah drives. Her hands are shaking. "What happened?" she asks. "Shut up and drive," Jake says. Later, Sarah learns what happened. A security guard tried to stop them. Someone fired a shot. The guard was hit. He didn't pass away, but he was seriously injured, paralyzed from the waist down. Sarah is horrified. "I didn't know," she says. "I didn't know anyone would get hurt. But it doesn't matter. The police are looking for 4 people. Sarah is one of them." 2 weeks later, Jake and the other 2 men are caught. The police ask them about the 4th person, the driver. They give them Sarah's name. Police come to Sarah's apartment, but Sarah is gone. She's run. She's terrified. She knows if she's caught, she'll go to prison for a long time. Sarah drives to another state. She finds a small town. She gets a fake ID. She changes her name. Sarah Mitchell becomes Claire Thompson. And for 26 years, Claire Thompson lives a quiet, normal life. She gets a job. She meets a man named Paul. She falls in love. They get married. They have 2 children, Emma, born in 2009, and Ryan, born in 2012. Claire is a good mother. She volunteers at her kids' school. She bakes cookies. She helps with homework. She's kind to her neighbors. No one suspects that Claire Thompson used to be Sarah Mitchell. No one knows about the bank incident in 1998, but the past doesn't stay buried forever. March 8th, 2024. It's a Friday morning. Claire is making breakfast. Emma, now 15, is getting ready for school. Ryan, 12, is eating cereal. Paul is reading the news on his phone. Someone knocks on the door. Claire opens it. 2 FBI agents are standing there. "Claire Thompson?" one of them asks. "Yes," Claire says. Her heart is pounding. She knows. Somehow, she knows. "Is your real name Sarah Mitchell?" the agent asks. Claire's face goes pale. She doesn't answer. "We need you to come with us," the agent says. "You're wanted in connection with a 1998 bank robbery in Lancaster, Pennsylvania." Emma and Ryan are watching from the kitchen. "Mom?" Emma says. "What's going on?" Claire looks at her daughter. There are tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry," she says. "I'm so sorry." The agents put handcuffs on Claire. They lead her to their car. Paul comes running out of the house. "What's happening?" he shouts. "There must be some mistake." But there's no mistake. Claire Thompson is Sarah Mitchell. And after 26 years of running, she's been caught. How did they find her? It started with a fingerprint. In 2023, Claire's company required all employees to get background checks for a new security system. Claire had to provide fingerprints. She thought about refusing, but that would look suspicious. So she did it. She hoped that after 26 years, her old fingerprints weren't in the system anymore. But they were. The FBI database still had Sarah Mitchell's fingerprints from a 1996 incident when she'd been arrested for a minor offense. The new fingerprints matched. It took several months for the FBI to investigate. They had to confirm that Claire Thompson and Sarah Mitchell were the same person. They watched her. They investigated her life. And when they were certain, they came to her door. Now, Claire sits in an FBI interrogation room. Agent Jennifer Park sits across from her. "Sarah? Can I call you Sarah?" Agent Park asks. Claire nods. She's tired of lying. Why did you run? Agent Park asks. Sarah takes a breath. I was scared. I was 22 years old. I knew I'd made a terrible mistake. I thought if I ran, if I started over, I could leave it all behind. But you couldn't, Agent Park says. The security guard you helped hurt. His name is Michael Foster. He's 65 years old now. He's been in a wheelchair for 26 years. Did you ever think about him? Sarah's eyes fill with tears. Every day. I think about him every single day. Then why didn't you turn yourself in? Agent Park asks. Sarah doesn't have a good answer. Because I was a coward, she finally says. Agent Park writes something in her notebook. Tell me about Claire Thompson. Who is she? She's me, Sarah says. She's who I became. A mother, a wife, a person who tries to do good, but she's built on a lie, Agent Park says. Sarah nods. Yes, everything is built on a lie. Sarah Mitchell is charged with armed robbery, assault with a weapon, and being a fugitive from justice. The prosecutor, District Attorney Robert Chen, is pushing for the maximum sentence. This woman has evaded justice for 26 years, DA Chen says at the press conference. While Michael Foster has suffered every day, Sarah Mitchell has been living a comfortable life under a false identity. That's not acceptable. Sarah's lawyer, Maria Santos, has a different view. My client was a young woman who made a terrible mistake, Maria tells the media. She was manipulated by her boyfriend. She didn't fire the weapon. She didn't even go inside the bank. Yes, she ran. Yes, that was wrong. But she's spent the last 26 years being a productive member of society. She's been a good mother, a good wife, a good person. Doesn't that count for something? The media is divided. Some people think Sarah should spend the rest of her life in prison. Others think she's already paid her debt to society by living 26 years in fear. But there's one person whose opinion matters most. Michael Foster, the security guard who was injured. Michael Foster is 65 years old. He lives in a small apartment in Lancaster. He's been in a wheelchair since June 15, 1998, the day of the robbery. Before the incident, Michael was healthy and active. He played basketball with his sons. He went hiking with his wife. He had plans to retire at 65 and travel. But that all ended in one moment. A bullet to the spine. Paralyzed from the waist down. His life changed forever. Michael's marriage didn't survive. The stress, the medical bills, the depression, it was too much. His wife left him in 2005. His two sons visit occasionally, but they have their own lives now. Michael lives on disability payments. He can't work. He's in constant pain. He's had dozens of surgeries. He's spent thousands of hours in physical therapy. Nothing has helped. When Michael hears that Sarah Mitchell has been caught, he has mixed feelings. I'm glad she's been found, he tells a reporter, but no amount of prison time will give me back what I lost. Nothing will make me walk again. Nothing will give me back 26 years. The reporter asks if Michael will testify at Sarah's trial. Michael says yes. I want her to see what her actions did to me. I want her to understand. While Sarah sits in jail awaiting trial, her family is falling apart. Paul Thompson is in shock. The woman he's been married to for 18 years isn't who he thought she was. Did you ever love me? Paul asks Sarah during a jail visit. Or was I just part of your cover? Sarah starts crying. Of course I loved you. I love you. Everything we had was real. The only thing that wasn't real was my name. Paul doesn't know if he believes her. You lied to me for 18 years. How can I trust anything you say? Sarah understands. I know, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Emma and Ryan are devastated. Emma, the older child, is angry. How could you lie to us our whole lives? She asks during a visit. We didn't even know your real name. What else did you lie about? Ryan, the younger one, is mostly confused. Are you still my mom? He asks. Sarah reaches through the glass partition. Yes, I'm still your mom. I'll always be your mom. But Emma isn't satisfied. Everyone at school knows. They're all talking about it. Your mom is a criminal. Your mom is a fugitive. I can't even show my face. Sarah feels like her heart is breaking. I never wanted this for you. I never wanted any of this. Paul tells Sarah that he's filed for separation. Not divorce yet, but separation. He needs time to think. Sarah nods. She understands. She's destroyed her family. The life she built for 26 years is gone. Sarah's trial begins in June 2024, exactly 26 years after the robbery. The courtroom is packed. Media cameras are everywhere. This has become a national story. The prosecution goes first. DA Chen presents evidence. Security camera footage from 1998 showing Sarah driving the car, witness statements identifying her, financial records showing she benefited from the stolen money, even though she claims she didn't keep any of it. Then Michael Foster testifies. He wheels himself to the witness stand. The jury watches in silence. DA Chen asks, "Mr. Foster, can you describe what happened on June 15th, 1998? Michael takes a breath. I was working security at First National Bank. 3 men came in. They had weapons. I tried to stop them. One of them shot me. I fell. I couldn't move my legs. I remember thinking, this is it. I'm going to pass away here. Did you pass away? DA Chen asks. No, but part of me did. The bullet damaged my spine. I've been paralyzed ever since. DA Chen turns to Sarah. Do you see the person who drove the getaway car in this courtroom? Michael looks directly at Sarah. Yes, that's her. Sarah can't meet his eyes. She's crying. The jury is watching her. Some of them look sympathetic, others look disgusted. Then it's the defense's turn. Maria Santos calls Sarah to the stand. Sarah, can you tell the jury what happened in 1998? Sarah explains. She was young. She was in a bad relationship. Jake told her to just wait in the car. She didn't know anyone would get hurt. When she heard the gunshot, she panicked. I know I should have stayed. I know I should have faced the consequences, but I was terrified. So I ran. And for the past 26 years? Maria asks. I tried to be a good person. I tried to make up for what I did. I became a mother. I raised my children to be honest and kind. I volunteered. I helped people. I thought maybe if I did enough good, it would balance out the bad. DA Chen cross-examines Sarah. You say you wanted to make up for what you did, but you never turned yourself in. You never tried to help Michael Foster. You just hid and hoped no one would find you. Sarah doesn't have a good response. You're right. I was selfish. I was scared. I'm not proud of what I did. 26 years, DA Chen says. Michael Foster has been in a wheelchair for 26 years. You've been free for 26 years. Does that seem fair to you? Sarah shakes her head. No, it doesn't. The prosecution rests. The defense rests. Now it's up to the jury. The jury deliberates for 2 days. When they return, everyone holds their breath. The foreperson stands. On the charge of armed robbery, we find the defendant guilty. Sarah closes her eyes. On the charge of assault with a weapon, we find the defendant not guilty. Sarah's lawyer squeezes her hand. The jury believes she didn't fire the weapon. On the charge of being a fugitive from justice, we find the defendant guilty. Judge Patricia Williams asks Sarah to stand for sentencing. Ms. Mitchell, you have been found guilty of armed robbery and evading justice. The guidelines suggest a sentence of 15 to 25 years. However, I must consider the circumstances. You were young when this incident occurred. You were not the one who fired the weapon. And you have, by all accounts, lived an exemplary life for the past 26 years. Judge Williams pauses. However, you also chose to run. You chose to hide. You deprived Mr. Foster of justice for 26 years. That cannot be ignored. The courtroom is silent. I hereby sentence you to 15 years in federal prison. With good behavior, you may be eligible for parole after 10 years. Sarah starts crying. 15 years? She'll be 63 when she gets out. Emma will be 30. Ryan will be 27. She'll miss their high school graduations, their college years, their weddings, maybe even their children. Paul is sitting in the gallery. He's not crying. He's just staring straight ahead. Emma is crying. Ryan is holding his sister's hand. As the guards lead Sarah away in handcuffs, she looks back at her family one more time. "I love you," she says. Emma doesn't respond. She just turns away. It's March 2025. Sarah has been in prison for almost a year. She's at the Federal Correctional Institution in Danbury, Connecticut. She shares a cell with another woman. She works in the prison library. She writes letters to her children every week. Emma doesn't write back. She's still too angry. But Ryan does. His letters are short, but they mean everything to Sarah. "Mom, I miss you. Dad says we can visit next month. I hope you're okay." Paul hasn't filed for divorce yet. He hasn't visited either, but he hasn't cut off contact completely. Sarah doesn't know what that means. Maybe he still loves her. Maybe he just feels sorry for her. Maybe he doesn't know what he feels. Michael Foster gave one interview after the trial. The reporter asked if he felt justice had been served. "I don't know," Michael said. "Will 15 years in prison give me my legs back? Will it erase 26 years of pain? No. But at least she's being held accountable. That's something." Sarah thinks about Michael every day. She's written him several letters, but she doesn't know if he's read them. She can only imagine he's thrown them away. She doesn't blame him. In prison, Sarah has time to think, a lot of time. She thinks about the choices she made, getting in that car in 1998, running instead of facing the consequences, living a lie for 26 years. She also thinks about the life she built, the love she shared with Paul, the joy of raising Emma and Ryan, the friendships she made. Were those things real, or were they all built on a foundation of lies? Sarah has decided they were real. The name might have been fake, but the love was real. The person she became, Claire Thompson, the mother, the wife, the volunteer, that person was real too. But Sarah Mitchell, the scared 22-year-old who made a terrible choice, she was also real. Both versions existed, and now Sarah has to live with both of them. It's 2029. Sarah has been in prison for 5 years. She has 10 more years to go, unless she gets parole. Emma is 20 now. She's in college. She finally started writing to Sarah last year. The letters are still somewhat distant, but there's something. Ryan is 17. He visits Sarah every few months. He tells her about school, about his friends, about his life. He says he forgives her. Sarah doesn't know if that's true or if he's just saying it to make her feel better, but she's grateful either way. Paul did eventually divorce Sarah. It was finalized in 2026. He started dating someone new. Sarah heard about it through Ryan. It hurt, but she understood. Paul deserved to be happy. He deserved someone who didn't lie to him for 18 years. Michael Foster had another surgery last year. It didn't help. He's still in his wheelchair. He's still in pain, but he's trying to move forward. He started a support group for people injured in violent incidents. He says it helps him to help others. Sarah will be eligible for parole in 2034. She'll be 58 years old. If she gets out, what will her life be? Will Emma and Ryan want a relationship with her? Will she be able to find work with a criminal record? Will she ever be able to move past this? Sarah doesn't know. All she can do is take it one day at a time, read books in the library, write letters to her children, attend therapy sessions, try to become a better person. The question that haunts Sarah is this: if she could go back to 1998, what would she do differently? Obviously, she wouldn't get in that car. But if she had gotten in the car, if the incident had happened, would she have stayed and faced the consequences? Or would she have run again? Sarah wants to believe she would have stayed. She wants to believe she would have been brave, but she's not sure. And that uncertainty is the hardest part. It's 2034. Sarah is now 58 years old. Today is her parole hearing. She sits in a small room with a panel of 3 people. They have her file in front of them. They know everything about her. The robbery, the running, the 26 years of hiding, the trial, the 10 years she's served so far. "Ms. Mitchell," the chairperson says, "you've been a model prisoner. No violations. You've completed multiple rehabilitation programs. You've expressed genuine remorse. Tell us why we should grant you parole. Sarah takes a breath. I can't undo what I did. I can't give Michael Foster his legs back. I can't give my children back the years I've missed. But I can promise you that if I'm released, I will spend every day trying to be better. I will speak to young people about the consequences of bad choices. I will volunteer. I will be honest. I will be the person I should have been 36 years ago. The panel deliberates. After 2 hours, they return with their decision. Parole granted. Sarah can't believe it. She's crying. After 10 years, she's going to be free. Not fully free. She'll be on parole for 5 more years with strict conditions. But she'll be out. She'll be able to see the sky. She'll be able to hug her children. Emma is 25 now. She has a job. She has her own apartment. She's engaged to be married. When Sarah is released, Emma agrees to see her. They meet at a coffee shop. It's awkward at first. They haven't seen each other face to face in 10 years. You look good, Mom, Emma says. Sarah smiles. So do you. You've grown so much. They talk for an hour about Emma's job, her fiancé, her life. And finally, Emma says, I'm getting married next year. Would you want to come? Sarah's eyes fill with tears. Are you sure? Emma nods. Yes, you're my mom. You made a terrible mistake, but you're still my mom. Ryan is 22. He's in his last year of college. He's studying education. He wants to be a teacher. When Sarah is released, Ryan is there waiting for her. He hugs her tightly. Welcome back, Mom. Paul has moved on. He's remarried, but he tells Sarah through Ryan that he hopes she can find peace. Sarah is grateful for that. Michael Foster is 75 now. His health is declining. When he hears that Sarah has been released on parole, he's asked for a comment. I hope she uses this second chance wisely, he says. I never got a second chance. Sarah knows this. She'll never forget it. Michael Foster will be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life because of a choice Sarah made when she was 22 years old. That's a burden Sarah will carry forever. But she's determined to make her second chance count. She gets a job at a nonprofit organization that helps formerly incarcerated people reintegrate into society. She speaks at schools about making better choices. She rebuilds her relationship with her children, one day at a time. Is it enough? Can you ever truly make up for a terrible mistake? Sarah doesn't know, but she's going to try. Sarah Mitchell is now living in a small apartment in Connecticut. She's on parole until 2039. She sees her children regularly. She's building a new life, her third life, really. First Sarah, then Claire, now Sarah again. Michael Foster passed away in 2037 at the age of 78. He never walked again. He spent the last 39 years of his life in a wheelchair. At his funeral, his sons spoke about his strength, his determination, his refusal to let his injury define him. Sarah wanted to attend, but she stayed away. She didn't think her presence would be welcome. Emma got married in 2035. Sarah attended the wedding. It was bittersweet. Sarah had missed so much. Emma's high school graduation, her college years, so many milestones. But she was there for this one, and that meant something. Ryan became a teacher, just like he'd planned. He teaches middle school social studies. He sometimes uses his mother's story as a cautionary tale in class. My mom made a bad choice when she was young, he tells his students. One choice changed her whole life. Every choice matters. Paul is happy in his new marriage. He and Sarah are cordial but distant. Too much has happened. Too many lies. Too much hurt. But there's no hatred, just sadness for what was lost. The case officially closed with Sarah's conviction and sentence. But here's what remains. Was justice served? Sarah spent 10 years in prison, but Michael Foster spent 39 years in a wheelchair. Is that fair? Can it ever be fair? Then there's the philosophical question that this case raises. Can a person change? Sarah Mitchell at 22 was reckless, naive, and cowardly. Claire Thompson at 48 was responsible, loving, and kind. Sarah Mitchell at 58 is remorseful, grateful, and determined. Are they the same person? If someone lives a good life for 26 years, does that erase one terrible choice? Some people say yes, others say no. There's no easy answer. Michael Foster would probably have said no. Emma might say she doesn't know. Ryan would probably say yes. Sarah herself is still trying to figure it out. What we do know is this: actions have consequences. Sarah's decision to get in that car in 1998 changed multiple lives forever. It changed Michael's life. It changed her own life. And 26 years later, it changed her children's lives too. You can run from the past, but eventually it catches up. Sarah ran for 26 years. She built a beautiful life. She was a good mother, a good wife, a good person. But in the end, Sarah Mitchell had to face what she'd done. And now, at 58 years old, she's trying to figure out who she is and who she wants to be. Not Sarah Mitchell, the scared 22-year-old. Not Claire Thompson, the woman built on lies. Just Sarah, a woman who made a terrible mistake and is spending the rest of her life trying to make it right. Is that enough? Only time will tell. But Sarah is trying, and sometimes that's all any of us can do.